Hi, I'm a Possum and I find garbage. Today's garbage is Moana, the remake. You know what Moana is? It's an animated Disney movie from 2016 about a Polynesian girl teams up with a demigod and goes on a quest to return a magic rock to a goddess before the people of her island starve to death. It made a ton of money and got a terrible sequel in 2024, and now it has a remake even though it's only been 10 years. The remake is nearly shot-for-shot identical to the original. There are no new characters, no new songs, the story is exactly the same, and I think most of the dialogue is too. If you've seen the original, you've already seen the remake. It was pointless. The inherent problem with remakes is there's only really two ways to make one. You can either change a bunch of things and, more often than not, make it worse, or you can make it exactly the same, in which case there's no point. That's why they just shouldn't even do it. Whenever I review one of these live-action Disney remakes, I say the act of remaking an animated movie implies that you think you can improve upon it by making it not animated anymore. And that's an insult to animation as an art form. This might be the most this has ever been true. When you look at something like the Lilo and Stitch remake, the changes are almost always for the worse, but you can at least argue there's some modicum of creativity that justifies its existence. That's not the case with the Moana remake. The most opposite extreme would be the Mulan remake, which is so far removed from the original and misses the point of the original so aggressively that it can hardly even be called a remake. But you can at least argue it was looking for a new audience, even if it failed. That there are absolutely no differences worth mentioning in the Moana remake suggests that it was made for no reason other than to cash in on a popular IP. This is nostalgia bait in its purest form. It's an insult to the intelligence of the audience. Disney sees you as cattle. And even if we accept remakes of animated classics as just a fact of life that we have to deal with, Moana is only 10 years old. It just had a sequel 2 years ago. This is hardly a dead franchise begging for a reboot. A 6-year-old who saw it back then is still in high school. This remake is unjustified. It's practically identical to the original and offers nothing new except for the insulting insinuation that it's somehow improving upon the original by not being animated, and the insulting expectation that you will pay to see the same movie twice. It's the final boss of creative bankruptcy. All Disney has done for the past decade is rehash their old ideas and try to sell you the same thing over and over again. They didn't even pretend to do anything new or different this time. That's how dumb they think you are. To give Disney the benefit of the doubt, maybe the fact that this remake is identical to the original came from the backlash that they got from previous remakes that changed things. But people wouldn't be so opposed to those changes if those changes were actually improvements. They never are. As an example, in the Lion King remake, they changed the visuals for Scar's song Be Prepared to just him walking around. This is because Disney is so slavishly afraid of offending the imaginary, modern audience that they couldn't even show evil hyenas goose-stepping. Then when they remade Lilo and Stitch, whether it was conscious or not, they had a highly questionable anti-family, pro-selfishness message, ending with Nani giving up Lilo to be a ward of the state so she can go to college and become a career woman. No one liked these changes, so I guess when they scraped the bottom of the barrel for something to remake and ended up choosing a movie that's only 10 years old, they chose not to do anything different because anytime they change something, they ruin it. This is the result. This is a short review because I don't really know what else to say. There's no sense in talking about the movie itself because, like I said, it's basically identical to the original, which most of you have seen. It has the same plot, characters, themes, songs, and so on. It would just be describing the original movie. So, I don't know. Here, in the comments, post which Disney remake is your least favorite and why. And subscribe if you're not already. If you are, check my channel for other videos you may have missed since YouTube doesn't always tell you when I upload. Support me on Patreon and send me your fan art. The links are in the description. Bye.